forward to doing my skincare. I know that's weird. Most people, I think, see it as like a chore, something that they're not looking forward to, whereas I look forward to it. I love it. To me, it's like makeup. It just feels good. So anyway, I start off first. I just washed my face. It's morning time, so I only did one cleanse. And then I go in with a toner. The one I'm applying right now, Laneige. My favorite toner is the one from Lancome. It's a pink one. I love it because it's a hydrating toner. So it's like an essence and a toner all in one. I find the one from Lancome to be more hydrating. It's also kind of like a milky consistency. So it's like nice and I don't know, it's thicker. This is pretty watery, as you can see. It's just like very watery. So the other one feels more like a true essence, whereas this one feels more like a toner. Now, after I apply my toner, and again, this is morning routine, although this part of the routine is pretty much the same for morning and night. I just tweak a couple of things. In the nighttime, I switch out the treatments, the serums. So the serums that I use in the morning, I put those aside and then replace it with the serums that I use at night. Basically, in a nutshell, I use the vitamin C in the morning, and then at night I take out the vitamin C and replace it with retinol, among other things, of course. But I wanted to also share with you, I've been watching this YouTube channel. He's a plastic surgeon. He mostly does reconstructive surgery. No, not reconstructive, rejuvenating surgeries and treatments. He's based in San Diego, and I'll write his name on the screen at the event. I have been watching him, and I'm learning so much. And a lot of it also is kind of reaffirming that what I've been doing is correct. So he says there's 3 C's that if you are someone who wants to take their skincare seriously and who really cares about, taking care of their skin and helping the aging process along, not that it's gonna prevent you from aging, but it's just gonna make your skin age with you in a much better condition. He says 3 C's: commitment, consistency, and continuity. He says those are the hallmarks for establishing a healthy routine to take care of your skin. Meaning you're not going to do it just for a month or 2. You're going to commit to doing this going forward, right? Continuity, forever. Because with skincare, just like exercise, you sign up with a personal trainer and you work with her for a couple of months. Your body is great, you're toned and everything, and then you stop doing that. Well, your body's not going to stay fit. It's going to regress back to its original, slowly, gradually, but it will go back eventually. Just like the dieting, same thing, which is why dieting, it doesn't work. It requires a lifestyle change in order for you to lose those pounds and keep them off, right? It has to be a whole change in the way you approach that. Same with skincare. For people who see it as something that's very hard to do, that's very like, I don't want to do it, I put it off, and I only want to do it sometimes, maybe there has to be a switch happening there, as well as maybe finding a way to simplify it so that you don't see it as such a big burden, right? Because I know a lot of people, working at Sephora as a beauty advisor, I get a lot of people that want to start taking care of their skin, but they're overwhelmed because of the large amount of products and then ingredients, and they're not knowledgeable, so they don't know what's right, what to mix with what and when. So all this confusion kind of creates, I think, what I think it's called analysis paralysis, where, and this happens to me in other areas of my life, where I get like information overload, and then I'm like, this is too much, this is too confusing. So then I just walk away and do nothing. So that happens to me in another area, but I can see how that happens with some people who maybe are trying to get better at taking care of their skin, but are like turned off when all of this information is just thrown at them. So I would love to be able to kind of help you along this journey. If that is you, if you want to start um, taking care of your skin, my hope is that I can kind of make it easier and simpler to understand not just the steps, but also ingredients, what they do, what they're meant to do, and how to implement this in a way that feels right for you, in a way that you can incorporate it into your daily routine, in a way that's not going to take away from your already busy, hectic schedule. Because at the end of the day, you know, in America, we have no time. We're just like, get up, go to work, pay bills, come home, go to sleep, work out, maybe. It's like this cycle, and I get it. I'm fortunate enough now that I can work part-time, but I did that corporate job for many decades and raising 3 children at the same time. So trust me when I tell you that I get it. Now that I have time that I can dedicate for myself, because my number one, I no longer work full-time in corporate, and number two, my kids are young adults, so I'm not, that's not my number one role anymore. So I have time to dedicate to myself. And I'm going on a tangent here, but I'm talking to you, those women that maybe are, you know, my age. I'm 59. Maybe you're finding that your kids, you know, have left the nest and you are finding time for yourself. Well, this is the time that you can totally implement a nice skincare routine for yourself. So anyway, so he's taking into account the 3 C's, right? Commitment, consistency, and continuity. He says there are 5 things that you need to be using in order for your skincare to be effective. That it's actually making changes on a cellular level. And he says these 4 ingredients that you need to have in your skincare if you are to expect any actual change in your skin texture or the way in its health overall, right? So he says niacinamide, vitamin C, retinols, and peptides. Those are 4 active ingredients that he says you must have in your routine, incorporated, right? And so, like I mentioned earlier, vitamin C in the morning for me. At night, retinol. Peptides, you can incorporate morning and night. And niacinamide as well. You can use it in the morning and you can use it at night as well. The point is, the main thing is finding a sort of kind of creating a formula for yourself where you have a skincare regimen where you are incorporating all of these ingredients in one way or another, right? For niacinamide, for example, it can be a moisturizer that has niacinamide or a mask that has niacinamide. For example, this one here from Pharmacy has niacinamide in it, and I just discovered that one recently, and it's beautiful. I love it. But for the most part, niacinamide comes in like serum forms. So then you would use it, you know, before a moisturizer. You would apply your niacinamide serum. But anyway, keeping those 4 active ingredients in the forefront of your mind when you are deciding what my skincare routine is going to be, those 4 active ingredients need to be part of it, both morning and night. And then the other thing that goes without saying is, of course, making sure that you have a good cleansing routine. If you are a heavy makeup wearer, that you do double cleansing at night. That's very important to make sure you remove everything from sunscreen to all the pollutants that your skin has been exposed to. Double cleansing ensures that you remove not only makeup, but also all those environmental aggressors that contribute to premature aging, believe it or not. So it's important to do a double cleanse if you are someone who wears makeup. If you're someone who doesn't wear makeup, I think a 1 cleanse is good, but make sure that it's a good cleanser. That is one that's really going to remove the impurities on your face, right? And that you massage it for a little while. It's like brushing your teeth. I don't know about your dentist, but my hygienist always tells me, brush for at least a minute. Not, 5 seconds and then done. And when I'm brushing my teeth, I always hear that in the back of my mind, because The reason being, like, in a minute, you will be more likely to cover every single area, right? As opposed to you going in and doing it for 10 seconds. Same thing with cleansing your face. And this is just kind of intuitive for me, not because I heard it from this doctor, but just spend some time massaging it. Go into every area. Really, really remove, give it time for the dirt to be lifted and then rinsed off. So it all starts with having a good cleansing routine. I'm touching on the things that go without saying. In addition to those 4 active ingredients that are so important, I'm talking about your basic skincare, right? It takes a good cleanser. Toner is optional. I love toners, but a lot of people don't use them. So if that's you, that's fine. I find that toners, what they're meant to do is, people think that it's meant to remove like any leftover dirt. I think that is true if you pour the toner on a cotton round and then swipe. Yeah, that's going to have that effect. But I prefer to put my toner on my hands and then just kind of press it in. And in that case, my toner is not going to have that result, right? But I've already double cleansed, so I'm not concerned. Toners are supposed to help. In my case, the one I use, it's meant to hydrate because it's an essence toner, so it has that hydrating effect. But it also, what toners do, it's help prep the skin to absorb the future products that you're going to apply to your skin better. So after the toner, you go in directly to your serums, right? Your treatments. And those are the things that you really want your skin to really soak it up and absorb, because that's like your medicine for your skin, right? That's going to be your vitamin C, your retinol, your niacinamide, or your peptides. So you want those 4 super good, important ingredients, and sometimes very expensive. You want to be able to get the most out of them. And the way to do that is by having your skin be in a state of getting ready to soak it all up. And toners do that. But if you choose not to use a toner, you would, after you dry your skin, that's when you start in with your treatments, with your serums. And I switch it up all the time because working at Sephora, I have access to a ton of products. I have 2 bins here filled with empties because I started accumulating them when I moved to this apartment, which was 2 years ago. But anyway, I'll put a clip on it if I have it. It's just too many to even count at this point. But anyway, so I just went in with this vitamin C from Glow Recipe. That's just the one I have right now. But any vitamin C that you're using, that's what I would use in the morning. So this one is just for the eyes. So in the morning, I like to apply vitamin C everywhere. And I'm lucky enough that I have one specific for the eyes. But if you don't, you can use whatever you have, as long as it's not too strong for the for the sensitive eye area. Just make sure that it's not going to be something too harsh. Like the one, for example, just off the top of my mind, thinking of the one from the Inky list, that 15% vitamin C is super rough on the skin. I would not bring that near my eyes, not even close. So just be careful. Those single ingredient brands like the Inky list, the Ordinary, they tend to be more on the harsher side because, like the names, like what I said, they're single ingredients. So meaning they don't add any humectants or moisturizers in it to make the formula a little bit milder or more gentle on the skin. It just goes in with the one ingredient. Boom, 15% vitamin C. That's what you get. So I tried using that for back in, I don't know, I think, yeah, I was already working at Sephora. I had tried using it because I had a bottle. I wanted to finish it. And my neck would break out like into all these little bumps. My face was able to tolerate it, but my neck couldn't. And so I just, I stopped using it. So just be careful. So in the morning, I've washed, I've toned, and I've done my vitamin C. This is morning. What can I move on to next? One of those 4 C's that's important. that I can use in the morning. Niacinamide would be a good option. So I have this niacinamide. It's not to say that it's my favorite, it's just the one that I have right now, and it happens to be really popular too. I don't like the smell of it, but it's this one from the Dewdrops. Another thing that I wanted to touch on, especially for those of us that are like more mature and that have dry skin to very dry skin, niacinamide is sort of advertised as this ingredient that's mainly for people with oily skin that have acne prone skin. So for the longest time, I was afraid of niacinamide. I would stay away from it. But anyway, point is that because I have very dry skin, I always shied away from niacinamide because what its main goal is to control the oil production on the surface level. So me having very dry skin, and of course, after menopause, my skin is even drier. I stayed away from it altogether because I was just afraid that it would dry my skin so much more. But niacinamide is one of those ingredients that has so many other benefits tied to it. The acne benefits is just one. The thing is that it seems to be like more marketed towards that. I don't know why that's the bigger emphasis on niacinamide, but it has so many other benefits, like skin texture. It helps target uneven skin tone, enlarge pores. Like, it has a ton of other benefits. So if you have dry skin, don't make the mistake I made of just staying away from it. Just know that as long as you use it, in combination with other ingredients where you're complementing, if there's some dryness that happens, you're putting in enough other products that's going to support that loss of maybe oils. So you're going to, you're using a nice hyaluronic acid serum. You're using a nice, really nourishing, nice moisturizer. Like, you can combat, if you experience any dryness, you can make up for it in other ways, is what I'm saying. So niacinamide is super important. Use it even if you don't have acne prone skin. That being like super important, because I just realized that not too long ago, and I wish someone had told me this sooner. All right, so keeping that list in mind, what is another thing that I can incorporate in the morning? Peptides. And I have a little one here that's a serum from Skin Fix, which is a brand that formulates products mostly for sensitive skin, but anyone can use it. So this is it's a thick serum. So I'm gonna put a couple of pumps because everything I do on my face, and I mean everything, goes down my neck. I do not leave my neck, and even down to I don't know if you can see it on camera, but even down to my, what is that called? Between your, anyway, I bring it all the way here, and if I have extra, aside from bringing it to my hands, which I always do as well, because it's not just our face that ages, obviously, our arms, our hands. So when I have enough left over, I even bring it to the back of my neck because this is all tied together, right? So if I'm applying something that's firming for the front of my neck, why can't I speak today? What is going on? So if I'm applying something that's plumping and firming for the front of my neck, it makes sense that I bring it to the back. Ingredient that's on that list of active ingredients that are super important to incorporate in your skincare routine if you are serious about your skincare. If you're serious about really making a change over time, remember that. Patience over time to maintain healthy skin. That doesn't mean we're not going to age. That just means we're going to age with skin that is going to be at its optimal health, the best that it can be. Other things, he talks about how we age, not just obviously our skin, but structurally, how everything comes down. And that's when surgeons like him come in and do some lifting surgically, right? But what I'm doing here, what I'm discussing with you, it's all about skin, like this. And this we have some control over, the skin. What happens with aging and everything that falls and droops, we don't have control over that, but we have control over the quality of our skin. And when you get to a certain age, if you have kept up a good skincare regimen and then you get to a point where everything is just too low or sagging and folding over, you come in to see one of those doctors and they do this, then the result is gonna be even more impactful, because it's gonna reflect this glowy, healthy looking skin, and the doctor has lifted everything up, so you're gonna look younger, right? It's the quality of your skin. And that's why it's so important. He actually has formulated for and I'll put his channel. He created his own, he calls it the trifecta. So he has his own skincare line, but I don't want to say line because it's not. It's only like 3 products that he formulated specifically, combining all these ingredients together to make it easier for those of you who don't want to have to decide which product and when and what's right for me and what's not. He sort of combined it all to make it as easy as 1, 2, 3, like 1 product for the morning, and I think it's like 2 products for night, and that's done. So I'll link his channel, and maybe if you are interested, you can. And this is by no means, he has no idea who I am. I just happen to love his content. He's so educational. You can tell he's passionate about what he does, and he's based on the pictures that I've seen, the before and afters, he seems to be so talented and such an artist. If I ever get something done in my life, which I jokingly started saying, like, I'm gonna book my appointment with him because he has like a long wait list from what I've heard. I'm gonna book my appointment with him now so that in 5-10 years, when I need it and when I can afford it, which I need to start saving for that, maybe I'll be able to get into his office. So that's just something, because you get to a point after you get to a certain age that no matter how much skincare you put on, it doesn't matter. You get to a point that it needs to be you need surgical intervention, and that's when he comes in. He believes in you remaining to look like yourself. So it's not about putting a bunch of fillers and then having all this lift up and then you end up looking like a balloon. He's the total opposite, which is why I admire his work, and his knowledge is just incredible. He believes in just leaving your features, bringing them back to what it used to be when you were like in your 20s and 30s. That's what he does surgically. He goes in and kind of reverses the clock to make you look like a younger version of yourself, not some kind of scary version of yourself, which is what we've seen. It's become so popular. People just go in and get a bunch of fillers from people that sometimes are not necessarily even have the right credentials or have gone through the proper training, and then people end up with all these botched jobs, and it's like so scary. It's so scary. I mean, I'm 60 years old. Well, 59. I'm not 60 yet. In August I will be. But I've never gotten any work done, not even Botox. And I don't know if that's just genetics or if it's because I've always loved skincare. Although I haven't always taken care of my skin as good as I should have, because when I was in my teens, I would, throw on baby oil and lay down on the beach and fall asleep. And like, this was normal back in the 80s. We didn't know about sun protection. It's like definitely all this hyperpigmentation, not only because of this is all coming out and getting worse, but not just because of menopause, but also I've done a lot of damage to my skin in my earlier years, and that was, it's all kind of coming out. And so when thinking of your skincare routine, I mentioned, cleansing is part of it. That goes like the things that go without saying, right? A good cleansing routine, toner if you use it. The other thing that goes without saying, like that is not part of those 4 C's, is a good moisturizer, right? A good moisturizer that's appropriate for your skin. If you have oily skin, get a water-based moisturizer. If you have dry skin, get a moisturizer that's like more on, the moisturizing side. So those are the things that go without saying. Another thing that's super important, getting back to how I used to treat my skin when I was a teenager, sun protection. He says that is, if you are young, that is the number one thing you can do for yourself to help make sure that 30, 40 years from now, your skin is in the best possible shape it can be. And you're going to be way ahead of the game just by using sun protection every single day. Right. And there's another element, which I kind of touched on briefly. It's pigment inhibitors. So as we get older, our skin tends to get uneven, which is what I touched on, right? And so that's one of the things he mentions that's important, is implementing pigment inhibitors. And that is just, pigment is hyperpigmentation, uneven skin tone, dark spots, age spots. They're called different things, but and the more aggressive one, the more is called melasma, that's a medical condition. That's like really, really, it's different. It's a whole different thing. But the ones like this, where I do have some control, if I put the right ingredients on my face, I can help my skin not produce so much melanin. And so that's what they're called, pigment inhibitors. And there's a bunch of like natural ones that are popular on the market, and they're all included in this product, which is why I always implement this product. All these here, in one way or another, help with pigmentation. Some of them send a signal to the cells not to create so much melanin. Others help lighten the already existing pigment. So combination of these ingredients helps both address the current condition and then prevent future ones from forming. So if you're like me and you are experiencing uneven skin tone, so for me, using something like this is critical. It's not mentioned as one of the top 4, but for me it is, because that's my personal skin need, right? So for me, this is just as important as retinol, the niacinamide, the vitamin C, and the peptides, because this is a condition that that bothers me, and it's not flattering, and it also ages you. So for me, I combine this with alpha arbutin, which this is just a single ingredient from The Ordinary. This one has all these ingredients, upside down, but it doesn't have alpha arbutin. So then I throw in a couple of drops of this to create my perfect formula. And then I am addressing my hyperpigmentation, both by treating it and also preventative. So this is a formula that you can use morning and night. So I religiously use this. This is not going to be magical where it's going to remove your spots. It's going to make them disappear. Now, for that, you have to go to a dermatologist and get things like, I don't know, he mentions IPL. He mentions other things that people go and get done. I've never gotten any of that done. I can't afford it, so I try to do as much as I can from home. Again, if I have any dark spots in your hands, that's very common as we age. Make sure you apply that on your hands. So anyway, I know that there is a way that these get treated in like in office treatments, and make sure that you do your research, not just on the procedure, but also more importantly on the doctor, and make sure they have the right credentials, and make sure you ask for a lot of before and afters. Just do your research. It's super, super important. So that for me is like there's no way that I would never have a pigment inhibitor or something like that in my routine. That's never going to happen. I'm always going to have that as part of one of my 4. So that's my 5th one, right? Same as hydration. I have very dry skin. So for me, using essences like this, for me, hydration is just as important as the other things, because without it, my skin, it's not going to thrive. It's not going to thrive at all. And not just because of that, but it's also really uncomfortable when you have really dry skin. It's rough. All right, so going back, I cleansed, I toned, I used niacinamide, I used peptides, I used my pigment inhibitor. I also put a vitamin C for my eyes. I have this other eye cream, not to confuse you, but I'm just going to apply it because it's from Kiehl's. It's an avocado base. It's more The vitamin C that I apply to my eyes, that's treatment, right? This is more like a moisturizer for the eyes. So I just apply it. I have it, so I like to use it up. It's really nice and hydrating for the winter months, especially. Like, your skin needs to like be prepared with the right, like, I mean, my son just came home yesterday and showed me his hands, like, they're cracked because he hadn't applied moisturizer, and it's the heat and then the wind outside that causes our skin to get so much worse. So he literally had, like, his skin had cracked. It's so crazy. And he comes to me, of course, because I'm like the skincare specialist in here and at my job as well. I love it so much that I just like learn and pick up things about it that normally the regular person wouldn't care about, but I don't know. Done with my pigment inhibitor, give it a couple of seconds to melt in and absorb. And then after that, the next step would be a moisturizer and then a sunscreen, and then you're done. Sunscreen, always, 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 your very last step, always, every morning, whether it's sunny or not. Sunscreen is the last step of your skincare routine, and then you move on to makeup. My number one moisturizer, and I just wish I could buy this for the rest of my life, Tatcha. Oh my God, the smell on this, if you have never, go to a Sephora and just open it and smell it, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. This stuff for me is gold. I'm not sure that it has a ton of active ingredients in it, but I don't care because I rely on this for what it is, for a moisturizer. I'm not looking to get active ingredients out of it. I'm looking to get this moisture and glow and plumpness that I get out of it. And that's why I think it's so good, especially for dry skin. That purple one is for dry skin. They have a green bottle that's more for people for normal to oily skin. So you can still experience the goodness. It has the same like aromatherapy smell. It just makes you feel like you're in a spa, like getting a massage or something, and it's just beautiful. Normally I save that for the nighttime, but I wanted to show you guys because if you're having dry skin now with the winter months, you want a thick, nourishing moisturizer like that or something similar to it. A good alternative if you don't want to invest that much money into a moisturizer. In Beauty, which is a Korean beauty brand, now sold at Sephora, they have a nice affordable moisturizer called 1010. That one's really hydrating and nourishing. And also Innisfree, another K-beauty, Korean beauty brand, has one that has green tea and hyaluronic acid. And so that one kind of, has the antioxidants plus the vitamin C, the brightening effects. So that one is also very nice and nourishing and hydrating, and they're affordable. So you can take a look at those if you are in the hunt for a good hydrating moisturizer. All right, so now that my skin has all of those ingredients, the cleansing, the toner, the hydration, right? So cleanse, tone, hydrate, vitamin C, niacinamide, peptides, pigment inhibitors, that's 7, moisturizer, and we're gonna follow it with sunscreen. But in there also I put eye, so 10. And I know that I think Korean beauty is known to have like a 10-step skincare routine. This just turned out to be 10, but I was just watching an interview the other day where they're talking about how Korean beauty, they're the ones that really brought the sort of like the self-awareness about skincare into the Western world, and that the double cleansing is actually came from them, and Korean women have this beautiful glowy, like beautiful glassy skin, and that's why that whole dewy look became so popular, because we all want to aspire to have beautiful glassy skin like that, right? But that's where it comes from. So I love Korean brands because they have solid, good ingredients in them, and they keep it affordable, and they make it affordable in our market. So I would say if you're serious about starting really, really to take care of your skin, start off with one of those brands and take steps from there. And anything that's missing, maybe grab a product from the Ordinary or the Inky list just to bring it into a regimen that you can establish with maybe from Innisfree or from In Beauty, because they're clean, they're affordable, and they're effective. And I am so glad that they came to Sephora, because we need to make skincare affordable to everyone. I mean, skincare shouldn't be, I mean, skin is the biggest organ. And so taking care of it shouldn't be like something considered to be like a luxurious thing to do. It's something that we need to do, right? And we shouldn't have to break the bank in order to have, like me, for example, like a 10-step skincare regimen. I'm not saying you need a 10-step. I'm just saying, like, I enjoy a 10-step because to me, skincare is enjoyable. I look forward to it. So for me, 10 steps is nothing. You know, sometimes I'll even do more. Like, I could have done a mask before this. I could have done an eye mask, and I have all that stuff, but I didn't have the time. But, you know, you can make it as small or as big as you want. As long as you're implementing those key active ingredients and keep it well-rounded and, you know, either implement it whether in the morning or at night or both, morning and night, whenever you can, you're going to have, like, great, healthy skin. Right? It's a matter of just keeping up with it. You wouldn't go a day without brushing your teeth, right? It's the same way to approach skincare. I'm gonna finalize everything with this sunscreen from Shiseido, and you want to apply enough. It looks like it's a lot, but I apply extra because I want to have, not only do I want to cover my neck, but I also want to have enough to cover the back of my hands. To me, I included in that. And another thing that I wish someone had told me years before is you can bring your sunscreen to the eye area. Just find the right sunscreen that works for you. I've tried some that make me like burn and tear, so those I know I can't use around my eyes. But this one, for example, it's just beautiful. It feels just like a regular moisturizer for that you can bring around your eyes as well, because you definitely want to protect that. And of course, in the summer months, you want to be able to reapply, especially if you're out and about, running errands. Let me grab what I recommend you throw in your purse. There are several ways you can reapply throughout the day. This is one of them, Kate Somerville. This has Sun Protection 50, so you can just spray it throughout the day. Because it says like reapply every 2 hours, but let's be real. Nobody's gonna be applying sunscreen every 2 hours. I mean, I do if I'm at the beach or at the park or something, and I'm sitting on the sun, I will reapply it. Maybe not even every 2 hours, but I will be making sure that it's in my purse. Ulta used to make this one, so you can get this one, which is more affordable. And also Supergoop makes one, a little bottle. I finished it up. I don't know where it is, but you shake it and you spray it. So it's actually, that one's even more convenient because it's nice and small to throw in your purse. But sunscreen, huge, 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 huge. So important. I know that the younger generation is getting into skincare younger and younger. And it's so funny, the other day, I had literally, this little girl was missing her front tooth, or both of them. She comes in asking me for Drunk Elephant. She wants to buy Drunk Elephant. I said, honey, but what do you want from Drunk Elephant? I don't know. I just want Drunk Elephant. She had this cute little list because she couldn't speak because her teeth are missing, right? And she's asking for Drunk Elephant, okay? What is happening to our society? What are we doing? What are we doing? And she was with her mom. She was with her mom. $69 moisturizer for an 8-year-old? Yeah, I think there's something wrong there. If we're not, we need to be educated and educate our children, because skincare, your skin is part of, it's one of your organs. You want to make sure that you understand what you're putting on it. And I don't know, that's what I hope to do with these videos. I hope to educate you in what I know and what I learn. And, you know, hopefully it helps you find your way through this really, really overcrowded market of skincare products and ingredients. And, you know, hopefully these videos will help you navigate that in a way that you feel more empowered and just more sure of yourself. Because when we're educated, we can make smart choices and decisions for ourselves. It's when we're not educated that we kind of, you know, don't do the right thing. And so I hope that this video helped you in some way. If it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please share with a friend or family member that you think can benefit from this. I think we can all benefit from this, but I would love it. That's the best way that you can support this channel, is by sharing it with others so that people are able to find me. I really appreciate you spending some of your time with me today, and I hope to see you on my next one very soon. Take care. Bye.